All right, guys. Good morning. Last night I was on a conference call slash webinar with the head of the AP exams, um, and they released some new information to us about exactly what's going to happen for each type of exam. So first of all, the exam date has changed. It is no longer May 11th. It is going to be May 18th, and it will take place at 2 p.m. Here are the additional changes that are going on. Okay, and I've kind of made you aware of this. The test will only be 45 minutes long. It will only consist of free response questions. There will be no multiple choice, which honestly, you guys are pretty good at your free response questions. So that doesn't bother me that the multiple choice are out, because sometimes we get tricked up on those multiple choice. Free response questions, we will be working on those the 2 weeks before the test. So don't get too upset if you don't feel that you're really good at those yet. We'll be just focusing on those there at the beginning of May all the way until May 18th. And I'll be sending out some videos, the best ways to kind of answer those questions. All right, so 45 minutes, all free response questions. There will actually be 2 free response questions. So the 2 questions will be one long, 10-point, and then there'll be one short, and it'll probably be a 3-point question. Could be a 4-point question, so we'll put that as an option. And they've told us exactly what kind of things are going to be on this and what you need to know. So keep in mind that, and sorry, my kids are in the background playing. There's no other way to do this morning. But you will be timed on this, just like you are in the normal one. And so your first question should take you 25 minutes to do. And then after that 25 minutes are over, they'll shut the screen down and they will give you 5 minutes to upload your answer. For the second question, it'll be 10 minutes that they will give you to answer. And then they will give you an additional 5-minute upload. Some places I've seen said that they give you 15 minutes to answer this question. That doesn't make sense to me, because then that's going to be over the time. But I'm sure once we get closer, they'll clarify that. Maybe they mean 15 minutes to the end of the test, and then that extra 5 minutes to upload, they're not counting on that last question. But keep in mind, you have 25 minutes to answer it, 15 minutes to answer the second one, or 10 minutes. You don't need to be looking around on other devices. You probably need to know in your notes what you need to look at. You probably need to have kind of a review area of all of the kind of like overview of, hey, here's the important stuff for each unit that we've gone over. Because you're not going to have enough time to look through everything we've done up until this point so that you can answer these questions if there's something you need to find. They did say that this test is going to be considered open note. That means you can use your notes, which is great, because if you get a question that's one of those questions that's design and experiment, which they may give you, we have that reference sheet, and I put it in your packet too, that tells you exactly how to, design an experiment, what things they're going to be looking for. They're going to be looking for independent, dependent variables, control groups, constants, hypothesis of what's going to happen, predict what's going to happen, things like that. So what do you need to know about these questions and how to answer them? Well, first of all, you need to make sure you have a computer or iPad or cell phone. Doesn't matter which one. They said all will be fine. That has internet. If you don't have a computer, iPad, or cell phone with internet, obviously, this is an online digital format. You're not going to be able to do the test. If you need to borrow a computer from the school, if you need somehow to go to the school to do this, they will make special arrangements for you. But you need to let me know as soon as you can that you don't have good internet access, or that you may not have a device to do this on. Another thing is that you may have 2 devices open at the same time. So you may have 2 devices open. So if you want to be, looking at the question on your phone while you are looking up something on the computer, or you can type on your computer, whatever the case may be, you can do that. You can use 2 devices at once, and that's okay. what they don't want you to do is they don't want you to copy and paste anything. So if you look up something online and you copy it word for word, they are going to be using a bunch of different software to see if you've cheated whenever you submit it. And they will report to the colleges that you've sent your scores to, and every college you submit to after, that you did cheat on your AP exam. Okay, so I highly suggest that you use your notes that we've taken, and maybe just your notes, to kind of complete this test. Okay, if you have to look something up, you can, but I kind of advise you just, stick with the notes. All right, how do you submit a question, or how can you answer the questions? Okay, you may answer the questions in two ways. You can handwrite them, which is good because I know some of you like to handwrite questions. You can handwrite the questions, and then you can take a picture of your finished handwritten essay and then upload it either onto your computer, send it to yourself through an email and then submit it. Or the best way probably to do that is to, if you're going to do something like that, is to get the picture or to get the question downloaded on your phone, and then that way you can just easily take the picture of it and probably submit the picture of it through your phone. If you choose to do the handwriting option, like I said, I suggest you use your phone probably to get the question from AP, and to submit everything through there. The other thing you can do is you can type it. So you can just open up a Word document. They might have the ability, we're not sure yet, for you to type directly onto the screen in like a box after the question. And so you can type it and then you can submit it, your typed form. That to me probably is going to be easy as well. If you type it, it's obviously going to spell check it for you, so you don't have to worry about that. It's probably going to check your grammar as well. And so again, the thing is, if you're more comfortable writing, if you can write faster than you can type, I would suggest writing. If you can type faster than you can write, or you feel more comfortable typing it, then go ahead and type it. That is entirely up to you. But you can't get the test on two separate devices at once. The test can be downloaded from one device at 2 p.m. on the 18th. Okay? What happens if you're busy on the 18th? Why would you be busy on the 18th? We're all in quarantine. If you cannot make the 18th testing date, let's say for some reason you are sick, there is an alternate date that you can take this. I believe the alternate date is in June. I'm not 100% sure of the date, but imagine you go in on the 18th and you have computer problems. College Board's aware that you have computer problems. They will let you do the test on the makeup date. If you go on the makeup date and try to do it and you have computer problems, there is no option to take it again. So if I were you, I'd try your best to get there on the 18th to take this test. Okay? Essays. What will the essays be? Well, I'm going to send you a picture here after I send this to you, and it's going to contain exactly what two questions are going to be on the test. What does that mean? Well, it's not going to be the exact question, but it's going to tell you what the questions will consist of. So question number 1 is going to be interpreting and evaluating experimental results. Okay, so what this is going to mean is that you are going to have to describe and explain a concept, process, or model that they're going to give you. They are going to then ask you to identify experimental design procedures. So this is where you're going to have to know, control, identify your variables, things like that. They want you to analyze data that's given or data that you would come up with, and then make justifications and predictions. Okay, so that's pretty easy. We've been doing that, guys. Think of some of the questions we've done before where it says, design an experiment. We did one with photosynthesis, design an experiment to test the levels of light and how they affect photosynthesis. And then you did that. The smaller question is going to be a question that's going to be 4 points. And so it's going to ask you to describe a concept or process, explain the concept or process, predict causes or effects of a change of a biological system, and then justify your predictions. Again, what we're going to do probably in the last 2 weeks of this class is we are going to focus on what those action verbs mean: describe, explain, predict, justify. And so we'll spend time working on that towards the end of the class. All right, the other thing that I want you guys to realize is that they are going to be using a lot of different software to identify whether you are cheating or not on this test. They did not share with us what it would be because they didn't want us to know how to get around it. So please make sure you are not cheating. Like I said, if they do find out you plagiarized your test, or if they do find out that you cheated or worked with somebody else, they will report to the colleges that you submit your scores to and tell them that you did, in fact, cheat on these essays. Okay, so do try to do your best. I know you guys can do this stuff. We've been doing these types of questions for a while. So please try your best. And like I said, we're going to focus on free response questions here just a little bit. I don't think there'll be any graphing. I don't think that they would want you to have to graph something. They might ask you to analyze a graph, but they're definitely not going to ask you to graph yourself. I don't think. So do keep that in mind as well. I'm going to give you one last thing here. There is a review that has been set up by College Board, and they have their own site. And you should visit this to get videos for review. So they are posting every day new videos. However, they're starting out with Unit 7 and Unit 8 for those schools that didn't get to it yet. We already did that. But as soon as they get back to starting over at Unit 1, I would go ahead and watch some of these review videos. Units 1 through 6, remember, is what our test is on. So Unit 1 through 6, that's all the cellular stuff. That excludes evolution and ecology. So anything we did with Hardy-Weinberg, you can kind of throw that out. Don't worry about Hardy-Weinberg. But that will be Unit 1 through Unit 6 on the test. So the video reviews are there. So go under the playlist at the YouTube site. And for some reason it's not letting me do that. Playlist. And under the playlist, you'll go to science. And then under science, obviously, you'll see the biology videos. And you can start reviewing from there if you have any questions. I do suggest that you look at these review videos and don't just start until the last minute. You know, kind of go back over and see what you don't know so that towards the end of, you know, when you do get done with your packet, then you can focus on, you know, what you don't remember. All right, so that's what we learned last night in our webinar. Hopefully this helps to give you guys some clarity. Like I said, I'll be sending pictures of exactly what you need to know for those 2 questions. And please let me know as soon as you can if you don't have internet access or a device that's reliable, and I'll try my best to get you something so that you can take this test on May 18th. All right, guys, see you later.